Welcome back. Namibia's rich cultural heritage takes center stage in the Echoes of Legacy exhibition, a collaboration between the Namibian Arts Association and the Franco-Namibian Cultural Centre. Now, the exhibition not only celebrates legendary artists such as Adolph, Jentsch and Muafangejo, but also bridges tradition and innovation for future generations. We're now speaking to Cisle Jacobs to learn more about the inspiration behind the exhibition and what, of course, visitors can expect. Cisle, good evening and thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening, Nina. How do you do? So glad to be on today's Roundup.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm doing just fine. Cisle, just to start with, talk to us about, the Namibian Arts Association hosting Echoes of Legacy and why now was the right time to do that.
Very well. So as custodians of Namibia's most significant arts collection, the Namibian Arts Association is just generally responsible to keep heritage alive and relevant. This collection has been curated since 1914. As you can imagine, that's quite a long time. And strategic prioritization has been that we show more of the collection in our program. So Echoes of Legacy grows out of this mandate to reflect this Namibia's artistic journey from the early masters, contemporary innovators, as you call them, and to ask what these legacies mean today. Yeah. Why are these voices echoing throughout and how they have stood the test of time? As the country continues its identity in a modern global context, it felt time to revisit and honor the contributions of artists who laid the vision of the Namibian arts, while of course amplifying our modern voices such as Hage and Luga. But Echoes really comes at this moment when there is a growing public interest in cultural heritage, I believe, and its relevance to our current social and creative life.
And of course, it helps that it's Heritage Week this week as well. I want to talk a little bit about the artists that are being featured. John Muafangejo, of course, being very renowned within the creative space. And talk to us a little bit about him and Adolph Jentsch.
Well, very well. I mean, artists like both Adolph Jentsch and Muafangejo are pillars of the Namibian visual history. You know, Jentsch often is regarded as a pioneer of Namibian landscape paintings, introducing visual language that became foundational to the country's history in teaching. Whereas John Muafangejo, meanwhile, was Namibia's most influential print makers. Print and works told powerful stories of culture, social life with both humor, vulnerability and honesty. And so both are interesting distinctions to make, but also came after each other. And John later, of course, also had his dreams about teaching art in Namibia, and now we have a John Muafangejo Arts Centre, which just exactly this. And so together with other figures such as Trudy D, Helga Cole, Desire, Medicia, their works embody both continuity, history, but also tradition, showing each era that reinterprets Namibia's identity through art, particularly in the political and social landscape.
Well, Cisle, I hope you're still there. I hope we haven't lost you. But I understand that the exhibition also includes the Heritage Market and the Heritage Mile. What can visitors expect, from these?
Well, this was a brainchild, of course, of the Namibian Arts Association, ourselves here, and Franco-Namibian Cultural Centre. And we obviously are next to each other, and we thought, besides creating an exhibition, the collection is so big, which we then took both to the gallery of NAA and then expanded it into the gallery of FNCC. We realized we had this space and that we can then create an evening market to just have an exhibition that is also live culture. And so the Heritage Mile, which is organized by the city of Windhoek, which is part of this Heritage Week, will be celebrating this heritage bit. However, their Heritage Mile will conclude the section of FNCC and NAA, and will be an evening that will kick off at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Visitors can expect a vibrant celebration of Namibian culture beyond the galleries. There will be traditional food, crafts, artwork. There will be live music, live performances, choirs, and the information is on the programs as you have shown there. And so I believe it will be a very immersive night of heritage, and there's experiencing living traditions in craft cuisine performance.
Cisle, just before we say goodbye, what is it that you hope, the audience takes away from this exhibition, Echoes of Legacy?
Well, what was really interesting opened on the 19th, which was now, it seems we have a connection issue. But when we opened recently on Thursday for the exhibition, there were so young people that joined us. And there seems to be a growing interest in the cultural heritage in the country. So it demonstrates how not only us who consume art, but also those that have created it adapt into real and traditional contemporary contexts. So what we believe with us is a sense that both cultural archive viewings and also living conversation have to be combined, and that we cannot just leave our collection storages, but that they are not static and that they are living. And so that we need to show more of this sort of thing, particularly beyond the piece of Windhoek. And I think what we want is to inspire conversation around how our identity has developed over the years. A weekly 70 years since this collection has been started. And this exhibition will end on the 3rd of October with a finissage. It's basically a fireside talk and drumming, embodying of the shared reflection, where we will talk a little bit about what we felt we experienced from this exhibition. So ultimately, we want to connect to this legacy that has shaped us and inspired creativity also today. And then for Namibians to be a part of an unfolding cultural story. Yeah. That's what we really hope the Echoes will do for us.
Madam Cisle Jacobs, thank you so much for your time this evening and joining us here on the Daily Roundup.
Thank you very much. And everybody else can find us on the socials, Namibian Arts Association, for this larger part of it.
That was Cisle Jacobs speaking to us there about the exhibition titled